Okay, wait, I have an idea. Hello, and welcome to a new series that we have. No, that was stupid. Hallo und guten Tag zu der neuen Serie AI Agony Aunts. Wait, I kind of messed this up because I'm hungry.
Today we are launching our new series, AI Agony Aunts. This is awful. I'm going to start again.
You so with like we're gonna laugh so much.
Should we start?
Hi, today we're launching our new series AI Agony Aunts.
You may or may not have heard of an agony aunt before. You might have seen them in rom-coms from the noughties. You might have seen them in magazines. And they're the kind of people who give advice on certain questions that people would write in with or concepts that people weren't really sure what to do about. So we've decided to be your AI agony aunts in the launching of this new series.
Exactly, and we will publish short episodes in which we give brief advice on basically any AI topic that you could imagine. So ranging from creating your first coding club, explaining AI to your parents, or launching your AI career. We are here to discuss any field that really interests you, so feel free to let us know what really excites you and what you would like to learn more about. Okay, Kate, so before we really continue in this episode, let's take 30 seconds to just introduce ourselves. So, Kate, who are you and what are you doing at Teens in AI?
Who are you? So I'm Kate. I am from London and I've been at Teens in AI now for about 4 months. Oh my goodness. And I help to run and edit the podcast. I am studying education next year. I'm on a gap year at the moment. I'm 19.
My name is Claire. Thank you so much for listening. I'm from Frankfurt, Germany, a place I recommend everyone to visit. I'm 18 years old. I am a gap year student. Kate and I were supposed to obviously start our studies in September. Did not kind of go our way. But on the other hand, we really got the opportunity to work for Teens in AI, which has been an incredible experience, and obviously also talking to you. So thank you so much for joining in again. And the reason really why I'm so passionate is through my entire experiences working with Teens in AI, I've learned that AI has an impact in basically every field and in your daily life. So make sure you listen to our past episodes where we really discuss anything from beauty to sports analytics to cybersecurity to literature. It's absolutely amazing and remarkable. So
whatever it is, whatever topic it is that you're particularly interested in, AI is making its move.
It's already there and
there. So it's so important to kind of realize how tech is not just one industry, it's an industry that's involved in everything.
And now we have the opportunity to obviously talk to you, give you some piece of advice. So I think now we should start with how you are going to launch your tech club.
I mean, I hope that, because you're here, you're also interested. And hopefully you're interested in a bit like us spreading the word to other people.
So in this episode, we're obviously going to talk how to start your coding club. Kate and I have brilliant experience and we'd love to share our knowledge and our understanding of what has worked and what has not worked. If you're really looking into starting a tech club, STEM club, coding club, whatever club it may be, definitely continue listening. We have some great advice for you that we have gathered over the past years, and we really learned from our failure.
We've gone through that so that hopefully you don't have to. So I think one of the things we could start off with talking about is actually the first thing to just have a think about is what type of club you want to run. Do you want to be the kind of club where people drop in? They come in the weeks that there's a topic you're discussing that they're particularly interested in. Do you want to have a club which is relatively small, but you have a load of really committed members? What talks, what topics, what kind of an atmosphere do you want in your club? What kind of thing will specifically appeal to people at your school or at your university? Because I think one of the really important things is that you know what kind of atmosphere you want to create, because then you can't be frustrated by, oh, no one takes it seriously enough, or no one shows up every week, or, oh, it's everyone's really high stress. Like, I want it to be laid back and relaxed. I want everyone to have a nice time. If you can figure that out for yourself first off, then you won't get confused 6 weeks in.
Yeah, no, I think I absolutely agree. Like, atmosphere is one of the key points you should definitely think about and brainstorm. When I started a girls in STEM club at my high school, and I was really eager to start it. So I planned everything. I was like, we're going to do experiments. We're going to launch rockets. Like, I had all these crazy ideas that were a little bit
taking
absurd.
Your club to the moon.
Yeah, I was going to take my club to the moon. I want to put our flag onto the moon. Exactly. But like, at the end, I realized that was way too much. You have to be really realistic. Like, think of the goals, think of the time that you have, and also like the commitment that you want to give.
I think like the other thing that I found is it wasn't a STEM club, but I was running a choir, and that choir rehearsal took place on a Friday lunchtime, which, as you can imagine, was not a time when people were ready to like focus in, like be intense, that kind of thing. And obviously when you're leading the club, like you do have a deliverable, like there's someone who's going to have to see like the reward of your work. So even though that's stressful for you, you kind of have to embrace the atmosphere of your club, because there's no point getting frustrated about it because people just like won't show up. So you have to embrace the day of the week, the time of the week, the people, the mood, all of that kind of thing. Otherwise the atmosphere just will really change.
So especially, I agree. I agree. I mean, like, Friday is already like the last day of the week. Everyone is exhausted. Everyone's tired. And then taking the lunch break. Okay.
I know. It was the only slot. And so you kind of have to make it work. Like, we would have everyone come along. Like, I just gave up the first 15, 20 minutes of the session to everyone sitting around gossiping and eating lunch. And that was fine, you know? So I think, like you said, Claire, organization is key, but also being flexible enough to switch as things go. But I think maybe I'm going to leave it to Claire to talk to you a little bit more about organization, because she is better at this than I will ever be.
I will give you 3 points of advice on how to organize your club in the most perfect way possible. So firstly, I'm going to start off with a team. So make sure you surround yourself with positive, like-minded people that embrace the same kind of idea or mindset or goal. So everything is kind of aligned and there are no like sort of disagreements. So in a team, I would recommend you have about 4 to 5 people. And I believe as you're listening, you would probably like to be a founder or a leader. So your role will probably just be overseeing all the logistics. So who's doing what and when, and make sure everyone has their task covered and done at a certain time. And then secondly, you need someone who's really like responsible for all the communication, announcing your club meetings, announcing any sort of things that you've done, competition, prizes, new announcements, and also talking to your teacher or advisors. So making sure when you need a location to work together, a classroom or any sort of lab, make sure that has been done and set and organized. And then obviously a key feature for every sort of organization, no matter how big or how small you are, is graphics and promotion. So make sure someone who's really passionate about just doing graphics and designing and will take over that part to make sure you have cool banners and sort of things to hand out to people. And then finally, I think someone who will do the agenda and planning. So every meeting, you will have 3 talking points, what you will do. And also maybe thinking about how to start your meetings. Will you have a little riddle, a puzzle? Will you have some food to get the people just like a little bit interested, so it's not very boring and academia. So it's fun. And then so moving on to the place of the master logistics, I'm going to say that. Like, when you launch your club, you will probably need to write a proposal either for your school, but also it's good to have for yourself. So thinking about what is your goal, what is your budget, or have you asked people if they're interested to join? So maybe send out a survey and see how people will respond. What are their ideas in joining a tech club, a coding club? What do they want to learn about? And then this is also a great time to think about how you want to structure it. So weekly meetings, monthly meetings, quarterly meetings, or also any guests that you want to have, mentors, speakers, advisors, anyone that has to come in. So really I go into big detail into what has to be done when. And then obviously arranging the spaces, the material, all of that sort of stuff. So everything is cleared out and you can have an idea. And afterwards, after writing that proposal, you can obviously delegate all of the tasks to your team members. And then finally, as I mentioned, have a positive and supportive community and club that will really make your club an excellent place or really relaxing place where everyone can embrace their interests. If it's tech, if it's graphics, if it's STEM, if it's mathematics, engineering, just really having a positive place.
You definitely don't have to go it alone. Like,
yes.
I would say really don't get too caught up in the credit of like the club being yours and it all needing to come from you. Actually, like sharing out the work will result in a much more successful club that's worth far more than lots of people seeing like you as the person who single-handedly, whatever, like started that club. Like the more people involved, the more people talking about it, like the more you can actually look at your friends and say, you know what, like you're much better at that thing than I am. Do you want to get involved? Or that's actually absolutely not my superpower, but it is yours. And that's learning those skills and learning how to delegate to people who can just do the job better than you is so good because you learn from them and also the job gets done better.
Especially, yes. I mean, a club is a community thing. This should not be a solo experience. So really like also give them the opportunity to learn skills themselves and develop them. So when it comes to like delegating roles and assigning them, think about like the time commitment, what really interests you. If you're an amazing graphic designer and you really like that, and go for it. Like embrace that, learn to really do all that graphic design. It looks amazing and it's really going to take your club to the absolute next level.
And don't worry if you know your best friend is great at art but she's not that interested in STEM. It's still a great thing for someone else to use in their portfolio.
So exactly, like you can combine, like mix it. It's not everyone has to be a coder. No, it's also about communication, creativity, and innovation. So think of multiple aspects and don't like take it too strict.
I wish you guys could see the passion on her face as she gives that speech because she loves it.
And then like I think a final point is just having a really like supportive community and a mindset that is fun. So Kate, like how can I keep my club light? So how can I make it that when people come in my club, they're not like exhausted, they don't take this as another thing, oh, I'm gonna get homework here. Like do you have any tips like for anyone out there that's looking to keep this more of like a fun exercise like experience?
I would say food. Free food is key to a successful club. If you can get a budget from your school, then that's great. Equally, if you set up a cake rota within your club, so, you know, once every 6 weeks, someone's got to make the food, or if you can just, it's worth it. If you put like £2 into buying one of those like big tubs of brownies or something, that's what we have in the UK. I don't know if that's what you can get worldwide, but I'm sure there's an equivalent. It's really great. It just like boosts everyone's mood. That's one of my key things for keeping it light. Do you have anything else?
Yeah, I think also like doing stuff like that is not very like much academic. Meeting the people outside of your club, if you actually like make friends and it's fun, having like movie nights, going out. So it shouldn't just be like very academic. It should be also like an opportunity for everyone to meet new people, right? It's so hard.
Depends on the age of your club as well. Like one of the things I don't think we've addressed is that often we run clubs with people our own age, but there's no reason why you can't be running a coding club for people who are younger than you. And I think if that's the case, then I don't see myself as an adult, like at all, in any way, shape, or form. But to younger people at school, or if they're like 11, 12, like if you're 18, 19, like they do see you as much older. So I think it's just about like making yourself approachable, making them feel comfortable, making them feel like you're not a member of staff, you're not a teacher, you're just another student who was, you know, exactly like them, literally like 3-4 years ago. That's really
yeah. It should be very much relatable and friendly. Yeah, so like going like to like the next step, I think when you have been able to really like build a base and a foundation of your club, it's really a matter of leveraging it. And how are you gonna accelerate the learning process? And what I've learned is you should have a goal, and that may be a competition or something that brings like that kind of like encourage you to learn more and actually do something. So obviously at Teens in AI we host hackathons, so that's a great opportunity for coding clubs to just sign up and compete as a team to see how well and how they can improve even their program, but also like their general skills and meet other clubs. We have a lot of coding clubs that like sign up, so you might as well like find new people that would like to join you. And also like talking to mentors, you might find someone that's absolutely amazed by your work and then will actually become an advisor to you. So think of that. And then obviously there are a bunch of competitions. For example, there are math competitions like M3M, I think it's called. It's where you basically have a limited time to solve, I think, like one problem. And then there are also like others, for example, like a science competition from Google. It's called Google Science Fair, robotics and engineering design challenges. And there's one which is very famous. It's called STEM Video Game Challenge, or another one is Cyber Pirate, or I competed in one which is called Girls Go Cyber. So they're very like simple and beginner friendly. So if you're looking for someone to just get interested into coding, I would definitely recommend Girls Go Cyber. I myself, when I started my Girls in STEM club, I'm complete beginner. So that really like taught me a few different things. So we like think about those kind of parts. And then also you want to make sure this club is sustainable. So it's not like a 1 year thing. Like after you graduate, this club will die. So make sure it's sustainable. So really like having a legacy and
having people in other years who might be interested in taking it over and who you kind of get involved from the beginning, like with 2 weeks until you leave school. Don't just suddenly text them and be like, hey, do you want to take over the club next year? Thanks, bye. They can have that in the back of their mind that they might be running the following year.
Like create a playbook, create how you lead your club. What are the things you need to do?
I think the other thing with a tech club is that sometimes people who don't think that they're necessarily coders, they'll think tech club's not for me. And I think that that's where announcing your club is really important. You know, if 1 week you're doing a debate on tech in the beauty industry, you know, say you're talking about filters and whether they're a good thing or a bad thing, that might appeal to someone who's never really thought about tech before, but they're really interested in beauty or in fashion and that kind of thing. So if you can get that kind of thing into your school newsletter or school email, stand up in front of the school and say that that's what's happening in tech club this week. I realize that is terrifying. Like I have the most jelly shaky legs ever, but if you can just give it 20 seconds and just like stand up and do that kind of thing, it makes such a huge difference.
I agree. Yes, I had to stand up in front of my school multiple times with that microphone, hearing my own voice. Terrifying. But definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. So take that into account. Go out of your comfort zone to really just like embrace what you're really passionate about. And also like thinking about organizations you want to maybe partner with. There, for example, like Teens in AI, or there are a lot of regional ones maybe close to you. There's, for example, Women in Data Science, Women in Tech in UK, in Germany. So wherever, make sure you also like contact them, and maybe you can invite one of them as a speaker. And that would also be a great opportunity for your members to listen to someone maybe a little bit higher up and see their point of view on the current field and current industry. So, and now finally, just to sum it all up, I think it's really key to be bold. Like the fact that you're listening to us just until now says you're actually striving for something, you're committed, you're confident, and you really want to have an impact in your community. But on the other hand, also like be mindful of the requirements, the time, the planning, and the team, and managing everyone. It's not very easy. It's not for everyone. But if you have a group of 5 friends that are really interested, go for it. Like try it out. Like what do you have to lose? Nothing. And I think, and then the final point, Kate.
Yeah, I mean, I think look, running a club can occasionally be a little bit stressful. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. You will learn just as much about tech and about coding as you will about yourself. Even if you don't think of yourself as like, oh, I'm not a natural leader, I don't like standing up in front of people, all of that kind of thing. That's kind of all the more reason to have a go, push yourself a little bit out of your comfort zone, but remember you're there because you're interested. You're there because you like tech, you like the world of tech, you want to get other people involved. So keep it light, keep it fun, and you'll be absolutely fine. And just remember, like, starting a club, like, you're helping to make a difference. It's not just about like everyone in your club creating the next Facebook, or like Claire said, like making it to the moon. It's just about engaging people with the tech around them, making them realize, you know, what it is that actually is running a lot of their everyday lives. And the fact that you're taking the initiative to get involved in that is amazing. And it's what so many people in the future, when you do interviews, when you do CVs and all that stuff, that this is not the reason you're doing the club, not the reason to start a club is not for your CV, but it's great for your CV and you will learn a lot. I know we've just given our top 3 pieces of advice, but actually my 4th piece of advice is say thank you to everyone who helps you, however much, however little, how, like, if they help you with your first session, send a little note. If they give a massive speech, send them a letter, send them a card, say thank you. If they show up and you know that they've had a really, really busy week and it's a lot for them to add this to their plate, just make sure that you acknowledge that. The more people that you individually acknowledge and thank, like, the better. And honestly, the further your club will go. It makes such a huge difference.
This is Mom Kate giving you advice.
If you take nothing else away from this podcast,
make sure to say thank you in whatever language you want.
Yeah, absolutely. Claire, how do we say thank you in German?
Danke.
Dankeschön.
Obviously, if you have any other questions, concerns, if you say, oh yeah, I would love to start my coding club next fall when schools are starting. However, I'm missing information in these areas. Definitely reach out to us. Join our hackathons. You're going to learn a bunch, and not only coding. You're going to learn business, design thinking, pitching, getting over that barrier and fear of talking.
But yeah, please do get in touch with us at Teens in AI Pod on Instagram. Let us know if you have any questions. Let us know if you've started a coding club. We will be so excited. Just keep us posted on it. We'd love to hear about it. We'll get you on the podcast. We want to talk to your coding club. We can't promise you 15 minutes of fame, but we will be super excited. So we hope you've enjoyed this episode of AI Agony Aunts. We hope
our first AI
Agony Aunts. Please share it with other people you think might be interested in starting a club, or who maybe already have a club but are looking to, take it to the next level. We would love to hear from you, and we hope it goes well. We wish you all the best.
Bye.
Have a great week. You can find links to some of the competitions Claire mentioned in the episode description. Tune in on Thursdays for more interviews with leading figures in the world of tech and AI, and occasionally another Agony Aunts episode. You can get in touch with us and take part in our new weekly quizzes on social media at Teens in AI Pod. We hope you have a great time in your STEM club. Good luck!